Welcome back to Lawn Dude on Earth. Thank you for listening to the show today. Let's see what topic we get into after the intro. What's going on? Welcome back to Lawn Dude on Earth. This is Micah, your host. Whatever time of day that you're listening to this podcast, I'm your host for it. Whether it be day or night. And I feel like I got to start every podcast by letting you know how much I appreciate you for listening to my podcast, for giving us the opportunity. There's a whole lot of highlight reels out there, especially on IG. I'm here to bring you the real. And speaking of bringing the real, man, can I be honest with y'all? Can I give y'all my 110% honesty? Can I give you the real deal, Holyfield, right now? I'm going to have to go ahead and tell you that it's not a highlight reel for me right now. It's not really a low light reel for me either. I'm kind of meh in the middle there. Just dealing with a lot right now. You know, my family in general right now is, going through a tough time. I'm not going to go into detail with that at this time. But I will say that it has been insane for us as far as just getting everything done. I mean, like, kids started sports. I'm honestly in the busiest time of year for the business, and not only is it the busiest time of year, it actually has to be my best fall to date. And I mean that. It has to be the best fall. For me, just looking at the numbers, I can tell you right now, it has to be my best fall. Trying to recover from the summer. At the same time, property tax, which we do in the state of Virginia. Property tax is due next month. And they expect, between all the business stuff, they expect us to be able to just make that payment. And then the only thing they tell you, they don't let you get extension or anything like that. You know, they just tell you, well, for me, just being completely candid, it's $7,500 I gotta come up with. $7,500 I have to come up with, and they straight up tell you, hey, when you ask, hey, is there any extension or anything to that? Nope, you gotta pay by October 7th, or it's 10% after that day. So you do the math. We're already talking about over $700 right there. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. That frustrated the crap out of me because I'm already trying to make up from the summer. Trying to make up for, the winter coming up. And trying to keep the current bills up to date. Which, since we're playing keep up, from the summer, since we're catching up everything from the summer, it makes everything hard right now. Pause. Especially with cash flow. Because, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. When you're basically using resources throughout the summer, whether it be a credit line or anything of that nature, which I've had to use a couple times. And having vendors, by the grace of God, to which I have credit accounts with, once you start actually really getting funds in my case from aerations, which usually that's that extra money that you can count on. That's the extra income you can count on to kind of go into the cut a little bit to, number one, pay your property taxes, and number two, or it helps with paying property taxes, and number two, it helps with money to put away for the winter. Well, if I'm being completely honest right here, which at this point, I don't think you guys, if you're still listening to this podcast, have any reason to believe I'm not going to be honest. It's the real stuff that go on behind the scenes that nobody ever wants to talk about, man. Especially business owners. So, being completely candid, because aeration season is here, it's been great as far as like trying to catch up. It's not. I'm not gonna sit here and say fully caught up everything because it definitely has not. But because of that, I'm not really able to forecast that into the future for stuff like property taxes and winter funds. So I know someone sitting here going like, "Oh, so what are you doing for that?" That is why I am selling so much right now. I'm taking on so many leads right now. I'm not stopping with my marketing. I am constantly sending out estimates. I have a lot of estimates out right now for different projects. Grace of God, we just closed a decent sized project where I'm at the Harley rake, the backyard out, level it, add compost to the backyard. We're going to aerate and seed. And in the front yard, we're going to do a double aeration and seed. And I'm going to fertilize the whole property. So that's a decent sized property. I have aerations I'm selling left and right. Just sending out jobs, cranking them out like crazy as far as like estimates. Doing my best to get leads in. I know a lot of people aren't big on Angie leads, but it comes in handy for getting leads. I don't care what anybody says about that. Our biggest snow contract to date is 2 shopping centers. We got them through Angie Leads. Our biggest commercial landscape maintenance contract right now in HOA, we got them through Angie Leads. So yeah, some negative things I could definitely sit here and talk to you about when it comes to Angie Leads, but they do come in handy when it comes to trying to push more leads in your direction along with other forms of marketing. So that is basically what it is for me. Every day I'm basically working at this, and to add to all that, you know, trying to I make the kids practices when they practice. This year though, this is one year where I could say both their practices are on the same day. So that's been fun for us, along with, their games. Their first couple games have been scheduled at the same exact time, and that's been a challenge in itself. My wife and I usually divide and conquer, but as parents, it stinks because you would love. We both want to see both of our kids, perform and just go out there and have fun and support them on. But when they're at the same time like that, us having to divide and conquer, it's great that we still get to cheer on, we both get to cheer on our kids, by one actually taking one of them and the other one taking the other. And then the other parent is basically there in spirit. We're represented by each other. Like, I represent my wife when I go to one of her games and vice versa. But it's not the same as all of us being able to be at one of their games and supporting them. So that's been a challenge, and just off of everything I just told you, just trying to do that and trying to be there for my family whenever they need me. Like I said, it's some things we just not going to talk about right now. Now's not the time for that. But just trying to be there. I had mentioned, if you heard my last podcast on mental health, I said trying to be there is one of the toughest challenges. Well, I've been dealing with that a lot lately. Like, I'm the type that always tries to be there for everyone, and especially, my loved ones, when it's a moment of need, I really want to be there. And because I'm in the field trying to crank out these jobs at the same time as selling more work, because I have to have the biggest fall to date, it's made it hard for me to be everywhere I would love to be. But all I can do is my best, and that's all I'm trying to do. It still doesn't make it feel any better when you're not able to be everywhere you would like to be. So, once again, these are the things that I guarantee you other business owners go through or are going through, and they just don't discuss it. Well, I'm here to tell you the type of thoughts, the type of things that go through our minds on a regular basis that we have to juggle. We have to juggle how to cover a bill and how to make sure you're scheduling enough work to cover said bills. That's another situation I'm in right now. I already told you, because cash flow hasn't been what it should be. Cash flow has not been what it should be, and because of this, this is an issue I have been trying to fix pretty much the whole year. And we're prepared to really take off and do a lot of projects throughout the summer. Usually we're able to mow throughout the summer. And just weren't able to do that this year, just off of the weather. So, been making up everything since. Still moving forward with one foot in front of the other. But I will tell you, as a husband and a father, it is hard sometimes to wake up in the morning, know that you have X amount due in a few days, and you're looking at your bank account and you're just like, I don't want to hit the credit line, because that's one of those things that they kill you in interest. And then it's like, I gotta see what jobs are up on the board. I gotta see who still owes us, accounts receivables, so on and so forth. So it's frustrating, man. I know, I really, with a passion, it is hard for me some of these mornings to you know look at my wife and look at my kids in the morning, and I kind of sit there, and I am my toughest critic. So when you hear what I'm about to say, understand that I am my toughest critic. I look at them in the morning sometimes, and I'm just like, man, I should be doing better. I'm trying to do my best, and it still isn't good enough, because we're not where I feel like we should be at this point in time. Those are the kind of conversations I have. And then I have to sit here and go, I can't be a man of God and sit here and have doubts like this. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. I have to trust God. I must trust God and know that everything will be all right, as they have been. I had a situation last week where I had a certain amount due to come out of my account, wasn't in there. And then God blessed us the day that it was due for a big job to go ahead and put a big job to go ahead and sign up. And because Yardbook has a new deposit feature where you can add your deposit in that way, we are blessed to just have that go ahead and get the alert that that was in. I'm dealing with the same situation going into this weekend with more stuff due. You know, might not be in the account, but I know God has a way. And I don't want anyone to take it with a grain of salt and sit here and think, oh man, this guy is just, he's preaching that, all you gotta do is pray and everything, and do nothing. And that's how I get down. That's not how I get down. I continue to do everything God has put me in position to do. If God has blessed me with a bunch of work that's paying to cover everything, then I need to get my butt up and go do that work. And that's what I do. So I keep my faith strong. Those who know me know this. To be completely honest with you, if it wasn't for God, I would have been out of business a long time ago. Between just the mental space and just constantly keeping income and cash flow on hand have been a grace of God. But we'll be all right. I'm being blessed more and more as I've always have been. And for all those who are going through the same situation and thinking about quitting, I suggest you get strong faith and continue to move forward. I tell you what, one thing I wish I was in a better position for was I wish I had a company in better position as to where I could even consider like pivoting and selling the business. Which, to be honest with you, I would consider doing that. But I feel like I haven't gotten the business in the position I would like to get in for that to happen first. This was honestly a strong reason why I went out and got a bookkeeper the year before last, was to clean up my books. I want them to be clean to the point where they say that you don't ever say that you'll never sell your business. You always have your business in position to sell. So while at this moment in time, I don't foresee myself really selling the business, I want it to be in position as to where, say, I get that offer one day, I can make that decision. You can't do that if your books aren't clean. So now I have a bookkeeper, and I am steady working every day to get everything on level to where maybe that becomes more of a possibility. Not even maybe, to where that does become more of a possibility, because it will. Well, that's kind of a current status on what's going on with everything around here. Don't think I'm just like sitting here like all depressed and everything. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this really challenging my mental right now. But I'm just tired right now. I'm actually picking up my daughter from school and kind of looking over estimates right now that I need to crank out, because that's just where I'm at right now. I gotta keep cranking out these estimates as they come in. I had a couple Angie leads come in, and basically I've been cranking the estimates right back out. If I can see it through Google Earth 9 out of 10 times, I send it right back out. If I can see the lawn, with the pricing matrix on Yardbook, as long as you can get that square footage or a rough square footage, you know about what your price should be. But that's all I got for now. Y'all take it easy. And if you're going through a similar situation, go ahead and hit me up, man. I'm available to talk for sure. Once again, I'm going through this with y'all. So I'm not on here trying to act like I know everything. I just straight up like to advise people who, I like to advise people some of the mistakes made that they can avoid, that you can avoid moving forward. But y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Lon Dude on Earth. We talk about all kinds of things here. The good stuff, the tough stuff, and everything in between. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and have a blessed day.